Hi, this is Spencer Colgan, your Tampa Bay wallpaper installer. Before I begin the video, I just want to ask you if you need wallpaper. If you do, for any of your wall covering needs, for the greatest deals and the widest selections, please check out www.wallpaperboulevard.com. If you have any questions regarding your potential wall covering installation, whether or not you hire me, no matter where you live, send me a comment at the bottom of the video, and I'll take the time to answer your questions, usually within 48 hours. Welcome to my wallpaper television show. I'm just doing this quick video to show you the after effects of wallpaper being installed improperly. My guess is that the wallpaper that I'm removing on this wall was installed over 20 years ago. And it's very good wallpaper because if wall covering is good, especially in a commercial place, it really stands up to the contact that furniture and people make, especially with all of the movement you have in an office. And so all you have to do is wash it down every now and again. But when it's installed improperly, it causes a significant issue for the next person who moves in or the next person who buys the property. In this case, we have an office here, and we have commercial grade vinyl. This is a 20-ounce plus wall covering, and I'm pulling it down, and it's hit or miss. This is raw sheetrock right here where my hand is, and it's plaster. Fortunately, it's not pulling the plaster off, but as you can see, it's pulling off the paper to the sheetrock. Why? Because they did not use a wall covering sizing prior to installation. And this is what you're going to get. But I want to show you. We'll do the worst of it, and I'm going to tell you, don't panic. Let's see. What I like about it already is that it comes down in fairly large pieces. In fact, this is the smallest piece, this 6 to 8 inch piece of wall covering that I have in my hands. That's the smallest strip that has come down. But for the most part, it's coming down in wider sheets, which is a real time saver. Like here. And so the boss has asked me, hey, why don't you give me a price on just plastering over it? Now you can plaster over wall covering, and this has a very light texture on it, and you could easily fill the texture in with one coat of joint compound. But you know what? If there should be any breaches in this wall covering, such as penetrations from screws or nails, from hanging pictures and things of that nature, like degrees, people put degrees on their wall. Once you have a penetration of vinyl wall covering, here's what happens. It acts like a balloon. If you should put joint compound on the surface and it's been penetrated before, something that's imperceptible to your eyes, perhaps a pinhole, people put pinholes through them. Well, after you put your plaster on the wall covering, which is not a terrible idea, but the reason I'm opting not to do it in this particular job is because you come back the next day and you see the bubbles that are taking place because the oxygen is escaping from the hole under the plaster where the penetration is in the vinyl. Once that happens, you do this and the vinyl moves. Otherwise, plastering over vinyl isn't a terrible idea. You can do it. But this has been up so long, I'm not willing to spend the time looking for every little penetration that may exist in the wall covering. And by the time you joint compound it and you find the penetrations, they're very hard to resolve, and because I've done it before. So we're going to take the wall covering down, and we're just going to fix the walls underneath it. The sad thing is that all they had to do was use the right primer before they put up the wallpaper. Now, this is the worst of it. You see that? You know when you buy sheetrock, you have that paper that kind of looks like this color? Well, this is that layer of paper that you see on your sheetrock, plus the layer underneath it. And that's how strong wallpaper glue is. It's staying up there. okay? And so let's take you to the wall. You see all of this moving surface here? It actually feels like fur on an animal. Look, this is perfect right here, ready for reinstallation right here. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. But look at this. What do you do with this stuff? Well, guess what? Now, I have a friend on YouTube. Her name is Leah from CJ Drill. She had an excellent video on how to handle torn sheetrock. And I learned a lot from it when I initially watched it within the last 7 or 8 months. And one of the comments on the video was from a painter who suggested in the video frame that the product recommended by Leah be substituted with something that was essentially a glue and water solution. Now, what she was suggesting that we use for this type of problem is something called GUARDS, G-U-A-R-D-S or D-Z, from, I think Zinsser makes it. But I'm going to tell you something. You can resolve this issue with $17 per gallon. And it's called Romans 999. Now, you're not going to resolve it by just putting it over this loose substrate. You have to sand this off. And if you have a sander, a 9-inch sander, and it's commercial grade, you can cover this within an hour and a half or so. You just sand all of this loose material off, and I'm telling you, literally, it's ready to receive the primer. The primer soaks into this paper and creates a new skin. After you have that on, you're ready to paint, prime, wall cover, whatever you want to do. I'm going to leave you here because I think I've demonstrated what I wanted to demonstrate in this video, all right? Usually commercial vinyl comes right down because it's so strong. It's not going to rip on you as you're peeling it off. But, like I said, when the wall isn't prepared properly, that's what you're looking at, damage. And what it does is it presents a problem to the wallpaper installer when he's giving a price because he doesn't know what's under that wall covering when he removes it. So he always has to leave a little leeway for himself when he's contracting a job to say, I'm pretty sure this is not going to pose a problem after you've ripped it off in some inconspicuous areas next to the baseboard, something in a corner where no one's going to see it. Other than that, you just don't know what's going to happen. So I'm going to take down the rest of this wall covering. I'll show you how the rest of the job comes out. And I've done these in several parts of my video series before. But I don't stop to show you the new products that come out and the new products that I test. And if they're good, I'm going to recommend them to you. I'm going to recommend to you the cheapest products that will get the job done. There's no need to be spending $60 on a product called GUARDS. That's essentially a glue product when you can get it for $17 or $18. I found Pro $9.99 in a Home Depot recently for $17.35, and I bought a bunch of them. Anyway, this is Spencer Colgan, your Tampa Bay wallpaper installer. If you have a question, like I said, leave it in the comments section. Do me a favor, click on like on the bottom, click on the bell, and subscribe to my channel, and you will get all subsequent videos, and we can share information, you and I, together. Okay, again, if you need wallpaper, contact wallpaperboulevard.com. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again.